It was so quiet. I didn't see him coming. I didn't hear the swish of his movements. All of a sudden, without any advance warning, there he was. I froze. I sat as still as I could, hoping I would not be seen. No, I'm not referring to some horrible monster lurking under my bed or a thief trying to break in and steal my stuff. I was out hunting for turkeys. No, not the kind that hides in the freezer in the store, but wild turkeys that are skittish and evasive, that strut through the fields and gobble in the woods. It was around 7 in the morning, and I was sitting in my ground blind as I was listening and hoping for my plump holiday bird to make his presence known within my hunting range. In the stillness of the morning, I'll often take the time as I am enjoying the sights and the sounds of nature to read my Bible. While waiting in the turkey blind for some wildlife to appear, it's a great time to talk with our Creator. Now, I also carry a pad of paper and a pen in my backpack. I had pulled out the paper and pen and was writing a letter to my grandson. I looked up and there he appeared. It was a young buck that made his way to my turkey decoy that was about 40 feet away. The deer stood looking at this strange thing that resembled leaves that seemed to have just popped up out of the ground. He was staring at my hunting blind. Now, after checking out my turkey decoy, he moved out to the stakes that tell me how close any wildlife comes to me. This curious creature, he hung around for about 2 minutes and then wandered off into the woods. I wish I'd been ready. If I had been ready, I could have filmed this wonderful experience in nature. Instead, my phone was in my pocket. So I watched in stillness. Had I anticipated this sight, I would have had my phone out ready to take some pictures. If I had been ready, then taking a video of the deer would have been enjoyable to watch over and over again. Now, as enjoyable as that experience was, there is coming an event that's far more important than a deer sneaking up on me. The disciples and followers of Jesus had experienced a roller coaster of emotional times. The amazing highs and the crashing lows left them bewildered. They were with Jesus when he rode into Jerusalem on a donkey, and the crowd wildly shouted, "Hail to the King!" A few days later, they celebrated the Passover meal with him. Then they went to a garden where Jesus was left all alone to weep and pray for strength to endure the coming brutal hours. While Jesus wept and prayed, his disciples slept, unaware that their lives were going to change in a huge way. Then, right in front of his friends, Jesus was betrayed with a kiss from a close friend and arrested. His disciples were heartbroken, but the worst was yet to come. Jesus was nailed on a cross to die. And while his friends watched, the sky turned pitch black. Jesus bowed his head and then died. Jesus was buried in a tomb that was sealed and guarded by a squadron of armed soldiers. His friends were devastated. Then something amazing happened. Jesus didn't stay dead. Now, his disciples witnessed Jesus being alive. He walked and talked, and he ate with them. Sometime later, Jesus took his disciples to the Mount of Olives. There, Jesus explained, "You will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses, telling people about me everywhere in Jerusalem, throughout Judea, in Samaria, and to the ends of the earth." After saying this, something astonishing happened. Jesus was taken up into a cloud, and while they were watching, They could no longer see him. As they strained to see him rising into heaven, two white-robed men suddenly stood among them. "Men of Galilee," they said, "why are you standing here staring into heaven? Jesus has been taken from you into heaven, but someday he will return from heaven in the same way as you have saw him go." Acts 1, verses 8 to 11. Did you catch that promise? Jesus promised it. The Bible prophesied it. Others pointed towards it. Even though it was promised a long time ago, we can still be certain it will happen. Jesus will return for the people who follow him, and he will take us to his home in heaven. But here's the kicker. We have no idea the exact moment when this worldwide event will take place. As Paul the Apostle wrote in Thessalonians, he was offering encouragement as well as a strict warning to be ready. For you know quite well that the day of the Lord's return will come unexpectedly like a thief in the night. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 2. Now, we have to be ready for Christ's return. It will happen in a moment, in the blink of an eye, when the last trumpet is blown. For when the trumpet sounds, those who have died will be raised to live forever, and we who are living will also be transformed. In the blink of an eye. Well, that's pretty fast. There will be no advance warning. Well, actually, that's not true. There's already been 2,000 years of advance warning. You just need to make sure you make the choice to follow Jesus now. If you decide to wait for another time, you could miss out. If you've not prepared for the second coming of Jesus, how terrible that would be. Now is the time to get ready. If I had been ready, I would have captured pictures of that buck on my phone. I wasn't ready and I missed out on what could have been a wonderful video. Oh well. But for the return of Jesus, I am ready. If I were to die or if I remain alive until Jesus returns, I know I would go to be with Jesus because I've asked him to forgive me from the wrong things I have done, and I've chosen to follow him. Hey, how about you? Are you ready for Jesus' return? Oh, I certainly hope so. If not, it's time to get ready. Now is the time to tell Jesus you're sorry for the bad things you've done. Ask him to forgive you and decide to live the way he wants you to. And you know what? Next time I go out hunting, I plan to keep my phone available. I'll be ready for that deer or for whatever happens. See you next week.